Hey, this is Nick. I guess the channel's name is Schizophrenia Sucks because it does. And I wanted to make a few more videos about that, but I don't want this to just be negative stuff. I feel like I've watched a lot of people on YouTube and they've helped me feel better. And I think that if more people put out what they're doing, how they're doing, maybe tips and tricks, and if they've improved or not, I hope people are improving. I think schizophrenia does get better with age. It's one of those things. Not everything is like that. A lot of things get worse. So, yeah, I just don't want this to be super negative or super harsh because it's like you're dealing with so much negativity with schizophrenia. Like it's a horrible disease and the voices are negative if you have them. And I was just hoping that people would maybe have a place like a community where they could discuss this and um, like just I noticed just from watching other people like there's other creators or whatever that have really helped me, and I just feel like great when there's schizophrenic content out there, so I have something to watch and other people are going through it too. And not that I want this, but people have it worse than me, and that makes me feel better, not that they're suffering but that I'm lucky that I don't have it as bad. Like I have pretty bad chronic fatigue and pretty bad avolition. Like those are the main symptoms that I have, but other people have horrible symptoms and they keep relapsing and they keep going off their meds for whatever reason. I'm not like judging them to be negative or to be mean. It's a hard, super hard thing. Like we're going through, if you're schizophrenic, like if you have psychosis, you're going through one of the hardest things that I think a human can experience. So, I mean, I was like basically homeless for 2 years and I got thrown in jail and I had to be in this horrible like it was basically a drug program. I wasn't there for drugs. I've said that before. Like I, not that I'm bragging, but I didn't actually abuse substances. Even alcohol. I abused alcohol when I had major depressive disorder, but I wasn't an alcoholic. Well, maybe I'll talk about that more another time. So yeah, I want this to be a community, or I can also chat with people too, because I mean, I've kind of got on Discord, but the Discords I don't really feel are that helpful. And I feel like they're really heavily moderated, so I don't feel those are great places, and they're not very active either. Um, I mean, there's not a lot of people that have schizophrenia, but also the nature of the disease is that we don't interact with each other a lot, and people become asocial because of it. And I actually haven't had that. I've actually, since I become schizophrenic, I went from, well, I'm like a super introvert, and I basically had one friend, my best friend, and then I've made like over the last year, maybe like less than a year, like last 7 months, I have like I don't know, not 30 friends, but like let's say I have like 8 friends that are getting closer and closer, and like 30 people that I talk to, and a community. So I've actually become hyper social, and that's for other reasons I'll talk about later. So if you're schizophrenic or whatever mental illness you have, or if even if you're not, like I do want to hear from you and how people are doing and what they've learned maybe in the comments, which would be great. So, and I'm not just saying that. I actually feel like I've been to NAMI meetings and there weren't a lot of people my age. It didn't feel like it felt like there was kind of a lot of people in the call and or the Zoom, and we kind of don't really connect. I didn't really like those, so I just stopped going to those. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but I just didn't feel a connection there with anybody. So yeah, I'm gonna try to be as positive as I can and give great advice about like keto and lifting weights and all the positive stuff like supplements, diet. Um, I do like one meal a day, and I stick to that most of the time. I'm not doing it right now technically because I'm doing something else, which I'll get into diet probably a lot, and just what's going on in my life. I just really appreciate there being other schizophrenic creators, and I just feel like there's not enough content out there. And I just wanted to watch more, and it's like, well, you get like one video a week, maybe, it seems like. And there's like a lot of schizophrenics are going to have hard time making videos. Like, there's creators that I really liked and enjoyed, and I wanted to watch way more of their content, but there just isn't any more content, and they rarely post, and it's sad because it's like, well, what happened to these people? It's like, well, they have schizophrenia. They probably have avolition or anhedonia or fatigue, or maybe they're in the hospital or have psychosis, or even could be homeless or something like that. You never know, right? So it's really annoying not seeing these people come back, and like you never know what could be going on in their lives. So, and I'm using my cell phone to record this because it has a higher audio quality. My last video, the audio is pretty bad. So I have a really nice, or not a really nice, but I have like a decent mic, like a boom mic that I got a while ago, and I'm going to try to get a hold of that, but it's at my mom's house. Um, yeah, I actually live independently at the moment, but I'm dependent on others for financial support. So, and I don't have my SSI. I've been working on that, which is a whole like stressful situation in itself. But yeah, I want to put out as much positivity, and I'm not a positive person. I'm like a objective person, but I don't want I have to be careful because I have major depressive disorder and my thoughts are very negative all the time. So I have to err on the side of being positive just because I don't want to have a lot of negativity, and I don't want people with schizophrenia to have more negativity in their life. Like, I want to explain what's going on, and to explain all the stuff about schizophrenia, it is really harsh. It is really horrible. Like, it's one of the worst things ever. So we do have to deal with that, but I don't want the channel to be completely like, oh, this is terrible. I mean, the name is schizophrenia sucks. It does, but like one thing is like being Christian, you're supposed to have like joy as a fruit of the spirit. So I feel that we should try our best to have joy, even though lack of emotions can come from mental health problems, and I definitely have that. I have a big problem with positive emotions. Like, I seem to have, like, I get anxiety sometimes, and I get depression like kind of rarely now. I've kind of managed to deal with that after so many years of having it. But we get lots of negative emotions, and my mind blanked for a second. I get blanking on my mind occasionally, which is another symptom of the schizophrenia, another negative. But the positive is you do kind of, like, I'm not going to say you have free time as a schizophrenic, because we have so much fatigue and we have so much like mental problems, like processing or whatever, or memory. So we do have like free time, and that we may not have to work, but a lot of that time goes into the disease itself. So it's not just like, oh, you get to have free time every day and do what you want. Like, you may have free time, but you don't have energy or you don't have motivation. So it might be too hard for you to like for me, too hard to play a video game. Like, I'm like, oh, I should play this video game. Maybe I can build myself up. And it's like, oh, it's too hard. Or, oh, I'm going to the gym and I can barely make it. And I really force myself to go to the gym for all the health benefits, but it's extremely hard. And I'll talk about that sometime too, because the weight gain and the another negative. Sorry, there's like so much negativity in this. I'll talk about that and what I advise people to do, and the challenges that I've had since I've had schizophrenia in the gym, because it's definitely different. I used to lift weights before I had schizophrenia, and now after, there's a huge difference and many more problems. It's very annoying. So yeah, but I hope everybody's doing great. I hope if you have friends or family, know that schizophrenia is real, and it's brutally hard. It's like one of the hardest things you can go through, and it's a lot of suffering, but there are ways to make it better, and you should just believe. Like, I hate this, it sounds kind of like some weird thing, but like, you should just believe schizophrenics when they say they can't do something or they have a problem, because it's very difficult for us to do stuff. Like, I know, like with my mom, I tell her like, oh, I can't work or I can only do minimal work, and she just doesn't understand. Like she wanted me to help her with some event she was having, and I could have helped her with the event. Like I definitely have enough energy in the day to do something like that, but she wanted me to be there at 10 in the morning, which means I would have to travel on the bus for an hour, or maybe use like I have a disabled taxi, so I get that, but that's like for emergent, kind of like rare uses. And then so I would have had to get up at 9, or I'd have to be out the door by 9, and I would have to probably get up by 8 to like get dressed and get ready. And that would be like a huge challenge for me. I try to sleep at 10 p.m. and I'm trying to wake up at 8 a.m., but a lot of times like I might sleep until 10 or even noon, and I'm not gonna it's gonna be very difficult for me. So like I want to do stuff, but there's motivation issues, there's the fatigue issues, there's sleep issues. Other people have other issues. There's all sorts of symptoms that you can have. It's random what you're gonna get, right? Like everybody's different, and medication can have side effects. I've had horrible. I think the worst part of schizophrenia is the medication side effects. I might go into that sometime. But yeah, if you're struggling, if you're schizophrenic or have other mental health problems, like what your symptoms are and what you're struggling with, like you can let me know. I'll try to respond to comments if I can. It's hard. It's like it seems unfair. Like, why did God do this? Why does life have to be so full of suffering? And I just try to focus on the positive stuff I do have. I do have good stuff in my life too. Even though it's been so hard, I feel like it's made me a very strong person. And I don't really regret or feel bad about not having a job. It doesn't make me feel like a loser. Like I'm disabled, I'm not a loser. Like a loser is like when you've made bad choices. So if you're disabled, right, you didn't choose that. It's not your fault. Like you wouldn't make fun of a child with cancer. You wouldn't make fun of someone in an iron lung. Like, oh, what are you doing? You're a loser. So we have these problems and we have to deal with them. And unfortunately, it seems like I guess most societies don't take care of schizophrenics very well, and we do have it very hard. So I'd encourage you not to think about all the horrible things. That's what I've been doing. I try not to watch the news even. So I do want this to be more positive and uplifting and not just like complaining, although the first few videos are going to be about a lot of the negatives of schizophrenia. But we do get a lot of time to work on ourselves and to develop ourselves, which is kind of like what the point of being a person is. It's not just like going to work. Like, is that what you want to do? Go to work, like make a widget or do something like I wanted to do computer programming, but the fatigue was and the lack of motivation is really making it difficult. I'm trying to, but I'm not sure I'll be able to do it. So like human beings are not meant to work. Like working is like part of your life, right? But it's like something that it may bring meaning and it's good if you can work, but it's like, is that really what you are as a human being? Like your job? Like that's who you are? Is a job? Like, don't you want to develop yourself and study the world and learn things and become a better person? Like, isn't that like more exciting than going to work? And most people don't have jobs they like, and they're not jobs that make them more developed as a person. Like some people might have that and they're lucky and good for them, but a lot of jobs is just like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing with your life? So we have time to really work on ourselves, and you have to go deep in psychology. And I hope people are capable of this. I mean, I guess it depends on how bad your symptoms are. Because you can have like catatonic where you don't even move. And I don't have catatonia, but I do have, I would say, like times where I need to lay in bed for many hours and do nothing. Like not even watch YouTube. I just go to bed and I don't fall asleep. I just my mind is usually racing, but I need that rest. I just get to a point where I get really exhausted, and I've taken Provigil, and that doesn't really help that much. Um, but I'll talk about that too. I'll talk about all the drugs I've been on. And if you have any supplements or drugs that you've taken, I'd like to know that have helped you. I'm going to go into that too. I have supplements and drugs and strategies that have helped me. So, yeah, I just hope this will be a positive place and a community for mentally ill people, and also for just for other people like family and friends, and just to help people understand schizophrenia. And this is getting a little bit long. I'm trying to keep these to 15 minutes each, but I do just want to say I really want to make sure that this isn't just all negativity, because it might seem like that at first in the first several videos that I'm making. But I will definitely be posting helpful stuff, and not focusing on the negative. Like, there may be a cure someday. There's different drugs that are like there's a drug that's not available in the United States that maybe they're doing research. We have AI. There may be breakthroughs, so it's possible we can cure schizophrenia and other mental health problems in this lifetime. So there's like light on the horizon, and life is only so long. And if you feel bad about not working, you're not made to work. That's not like your primary focus as a human being. Like, you're not less of a human because you don't work. And with AI and automation, like, nobody's going to have a job soon. So, right, like, we might have to have a UBI in the future if every job is automated. Like, literally, everybody will be out of work. So that shouldn't really be your identity. Like, we're like ahead of the curve. Um, if you're disabled, you're ahead of the curve because that AI is coming. And anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. God bless, and I'm going to cut this off and hopefully post some other videos and hopefully help people. Okay, that's it.